Asantehene elevated us into paramountcy in 1982.
1982.
Exactly, we keep on saying it. And so this is the significance and the authority of the fact say Sampa belonged to Asantehene. Dormaahene agenda was to use that agenda say bono. Now what dada mabuno against the Asantehene
nation.
Maybe say kwa hwense me Asante.
Me Asante.
Jape krum si me Asante. Enti wo abrante na wo si wo yabuno wo ye dede no wo ye hwan.
Wo ye hwan.
Na Dormaahene at demonstrate say the president of the Bono region has a chief. And or misleading among for say he is the leader of the Bono people.
Abuja for Yamama Kwaba ha ADUMASA TV, Facebook ADUMASA online, YouTube ADUMASA TV, TikTok ADUMASA TV. But what na subscribe jumedi no. Na share ma wunu no no so enya bi enhye. Enne medical culture say me two emira na ma kire wo sie. The whole genesis about Sampa issues are so gene ho ntra ha e wa Asantehene mu ni Ghana memu na wo hene bi so tene ba bi ni wakofa obi abase wo bla be swan emfa nkire Sampa krodua no obi so de bon ho nsamrane se wo no ene Sampa man ehene Asantehene se hene doma agimu jene agimambadu enso ne 7 pradua sa na chidifo na tena nkonya enso so de abrante kwa bi enso e de na ba yese de okọ ya nkwa nkote se bi kakum ye gene kokuo no enum kame ho yenya Sampa tena nkonya no wo mu dehye wo mu twotwo mu twodi obo mu kotodwem e wa ha se yemo mpire no minim ne din wonim ne din tie yemo mpire no ne ye ne ntwetwe nkomo e de ne kofa Sampa sensem e ba na e dempo e na Dormaahene e de ne ho agim yemo akwaba ADUMASA TV
na me joso
bibi aboko de
odaroma me joso
media minimudin na obebo di akyere mahwefo
odaroma tije ne okoni medin for medin tudwa
wase me friend din tudwa de ne ye friend no Amas ya Grace medin wode nam asase so no Amas and ye ba be hwe Sampa mu nsensem the whole genesis about Sampa Dormaahene e de ne ho ba bagim send this by
of course clearly ye be ma e be fa konyensu na ya chia opem so Asantehene
piao
ya chia no asanse onyame kase
piao
nti onyame kase no ni ntia exercise no ewo hono clearly because we Asante as an Asante is an Asante nation and Asantehene and of course he's overlord of the Asante people and for that matter onyame kase nti ebe chia no and so clearly I'm sure Sampa could never toy
sir
nti ebe toy no na there must be that opportunity say we ba na obedi ade mentimi wase of course na ehahye na kofisun the first our nyane baby akọ na otiase oba panyin akonya di kan betoy tie toy na ehye esi oba panyin enti eba na sha na ye na adure so na ye ne Adama Watara As Adama Watara, moja. Moja who can't someone, I said, Debia, unokre. The fact say, Adama Watara, Ninam Honoma, Sebi, or Yenya Mabia in Sem Fatano. You cannot still disown him, because, of course, or your blood. But the fact that I am a blood, no, Udintro. Because clearly, Yeno, Ena, Sebi, Idiadia. Enti, Ebanis, Anayeno. No any mame ye na oba penyin na Adama Watara ni mame na oba atakakra penyin na confusion atapenyin na atakakra
na se nipa miensa na hini no ebefi mo ba
enti Samordua mu de they came to join. I don't know, maybe subsequently you asked me the question and I answer it is sanity it is ubisa me Sampa akonya. This is a story
na se akonya ne ba betoye
oba hima akonya ne betoye Jebetoy na se obi dia de saa tam no na akofison ewo ho no enti nhihye ekoso emampa ekopiem jampa no kredi nim na abusubo abusuanfo to lesa majafla omne se omde oba panyin ba ni be hia de
na se nipa miensen e na adije ne wose yi di odehie ne firim
sanete
na yi nipa miensen yi dehie afri se nipa miensen yi mu a Farouk obo no san ho mara ne Samordua so firi beto.
The whole story was the first before the formation of Sampa. I buy na ye ne bon for pray those days ye Shumayin crew pray. You understand clearly?
Yeah.
There was the point that na any more litigate in terms of na any more manson. So the manson na no e be drum pempen show bi a sebi ye panyina na odi animo o twisa manson no ofimu.
na said de no wo twema nso ama Sampa no wato
so clearly Samordua as a linkage na oyo twame prokope
Samordua wo pre akonya no ne ona na de Samordua
no a linkage he was a
twame ema ohina na sabre no wato no
of course na yina ya busu ayeti wono ewo odom ewo shebi no kremunti the fact was just say so owu because I on the Kobano, we should give him the opportunity to continue. She never be as no do no bit me. A boss, assembly pempen, so I could be a do. She never, never mind him as a neka. So that's it. You were fighting for a right. That
I'm asking Chawano. Sampa Kunyani Babetono, what Yamiano near Freddy Samordua. A son send a man so an hour and an chino, one on an echo Benintino, one on the gas on command of
Fimo. Into Fimo, he continued. Or twaso a transfer manson because now per se dear in terms of paramountcy, and that is why we are saying say Asantehene elevated us into paramountcy in 1982.
1982.
Exactly, we keep on saying it, and so this is the significance and the authority of the fact say Sampa belong to Asantehene, and so clearly, so the fact says Samordua nani sebinin nanano elhono, and yet not a nyamoja. Danny Namja Titin, we beat me see, and as I see my sister, we are them. That is why we are challenging a Abusian, dear. Moja. And so we are telling the people, say, any anama and emoja. Ain't any anama and emojani say. Now, Kufison, the first. Oh, yeah, sir. Ni mammy, oh, yeah. Anama mammy, mammo, and a dinner, dear. Anama mammy, Tio. You see, that the whole story I possess. Among what Tiasian, and yes, be do draw among moon, can ye come at decision? Ye come with Johnny at the Sally. And the confession, mammy, a woo ye. Anama mammy, a friend of mammo, and a dinner, dear. Sanity, first place. And the Kamuja, a Kamuja, a chesson. Let's say Adama Watara, no, or no name Muja. And to my main country to say, confession near Basu woo ye, and a friend, a queer or Daruma. Some of the flamame, I friend comfort yingy. Obama will for yes, you shall not or to Topano on a deep official near Banadier. So the question is, the question people have to ask themselves, they say, then Anama mammy, mammo, a deep official mammy, idea, and a nasa with the flat. A bedi, mamma, and a nasa with the flabby deep official near Badia, and a Moja. You can't say be a decision in terms of that can language and that can certain and blood. So these are customary requirements. These are constitutional provisions within the law. Say can say moja ni dia. What does it? We tiwe and there are many okase and say be nyame adom na say be nyame domo na ofa oba bi na ne wa. What aroma oba no say be se nkra na ne na wo no. Omudi ade o bibia anya wo moja o. Dabi omufi. Obani fee na eka o de wawo mawo ne e betimi an se ne fani se mbaba papa wadaroma oba no ye be se de ne ekosi akonya ne be pa wacho but on kan moja on kan busuan ye ka e ka fie e ka busuan e ma ene ka e ma ene kire abusuan Asantehene ne amamre ne aka amamre what you say enti ye ka ne se ya amamfo ntia se ne e ka no this is the valid authority. This we no authority, no. We no authority, no matter the argument that you advance on social media, no matter what you say.
Na member Amas, okasemu no. Yes, na currently Sampa man here was trying the achire Asantehene.
Sir.
Wono no Adama mame wu ye no. Wono e mame.
And Adama and Kofisun. Na Kofisun the first. Ni mame wu ye no. Anama mame
and kodi.
And kodi na die.
Adama mame so toy free mu.
No. Anya na mame. Na Kofisun ni aba. Esan toy.
Toy. Ena ye na sama
jafla mame ene
di na de ne se mo ni Adama de moja prekope na so obi bisa asem we o eye den na woni Adama Watara ye moja ba kope na wo back Samordua.
Well, so the point is there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do no. The only thing you can do is we are going to expose him based on this. We enebe no kre am say we obi a say wadaroma. We nyensani and you are very reasonable and you believe indeed in family in the clan system and then in the black system the manner and the way in terms of inheritance in the CDR you come to believe that we are saying this true. What I say except if you say any anama ayabusia what I say can say we are fighting say anama ayabusia for us to get recognition but you can't change musin abia timon for senate and then the oyano and tro on ultra. Although we believe you are a truthful occupant of the pool of Sampa.
Nese wo ba wa mo oye mobusuani tum nanso nya ono na epre akonya ne dibi sesi a enye na woye mobusuani a adenti na ono na kofa Samordua ba Samordua no wodi kan akire mu se ye na
kofi nenti a bi akodi Samordua achi ni nyane probably he has his own reason as to why yesa but so akofa Samordua unkofa Samordua all of us asem no toy no oba hima toy no waje ase ewumu ana sebi bema akonya nso etoye nti etoye no na afi akonya no menu na ato nti eba ne sha na afi obi ani obi to be ani obi no the matter was before the Bono Regional House of Chief.
Okay,
nti the matter was before the Bono Regional House of Chief and then na ejitum say look Sampa akonya Asantehene akonya it was the case in na ba Asantehene and then we came to resolve say assembly or court bia whether the Bono Regional House of Chief whether the main administrative court and the constitution say na yi asem no eba opim so no so kan asem no o kan asem no e ma yin na kwa arbitration e nyina swai in tam kase e ka so oji eba na kan asem no na odifa ojitum videos e wo honom nti asem wa kan nyina ya ka manasi nti ya ka manasi dia biem pa na ya san kan biem na man fonti as say netie
we say the matter was before Bono Regional House of Chief. Dormaahene be pay die wo.
See, it's an agenda. It was a political agenda.
And then,
oh, of course, because clearly, it was an attempt to incite in Mabuna War the Bon Enclave Nila, Emu Sebi, Asantehene, Sebi Nipaboniphobia, and Asantehene, G. Obi to me. But you're not correct. Oh, what I say? Because clearly, before Bonafo, the 1959 bill, the 1959 bill of Bonafo. Before I Kwame Nkrumah time I beti Bonafo, there was a clear language. I can't say sebi. Nananuma, Mosum Asantehene. The fact that I created that bone I have original. And in Cheshire Monsum Asantehene. These are
administrative purpose.
Oh, of course, these are valid documents. But why not you share? Because probably will be 18 years. Ofi Brekum. Will be 18 years. Our free friend is saying Wenchi. Japekrum. Sampa.
Within a Bonona.
No, all these towns that once were in Tra. Omunim show me Asantehene. They don't know. But they don't know. People didn't know. And so they were misled to think, what is Bono?
It's a language.
It's a language. And now, say, administrative purpose. And I'm say, it's okay, Bono, one Ebono. Sankua, Sekwa, Asantehene, Sampa Asantehene, Japekrum Asantehene, Banaya Asantehene, Wenchi Asantehene, in Tra, in Wanswa. All these enclaves are Asantehene. This is a language. And then the Wiba did say, and I say, and you have to be a press. As I said, you'll be our assassin. I will be to me, Cassa, we are media now, we beat me media. Because clearly, we have demarcations that authoritatively, Eche will be assassin.
Yes,
baby, Shahon,
Iradia. I have for Uncomoya, Yedi, I feel about BPS who I won't tear see a Sampa. Kwanya far so ebpm ye rakotoko hena nim na ye nana ajimu jene Dormaahene ede ne ho bagi mu kofa brante kwaya Farouk obo no san ho samra ne frɛ no Samordua ene ne amas ya grace epensen mu ede akire what is afide Samordua no ye chiame na onye mogya mpo a no ben Sampa akonya no ye to ye nkomo twetwe no so.
And so clearly Dormaahene agenda was to use that agenda say bono now or dada Mabruno against the Asantehene
Nation.
And he was misleading them. So what I say. It was clearly Farouk and now a branch was
see a friend Samordua.
On authority, Shabi, Dormaahene or a high court judge.
Sanity.
What I say.
Sanity.
And T1 Shabi will be to me, our Nimyansha, or Nimshampa. There's a document to prove that indeed Samordua is the legitimate chief of Sampa. Madam Masa. And the manner and the way Dormaahene is behaving in this country, Nangamontenenka. And clearly, so he's inciting the emotions of the young ones. What I say? Because Sansemo Kana or why baby I can Asantehene. He keep on misleading the young ones because of politics. No, he can go.
Amas. Wo be sisi ano or mislead youth na young ones na mo we within bono ho no e de ahye wo mutirim so mo kutupa mo hu se asante tan bono na mpo empatam wo na nya asante na mum ye bono na Asantehene e pese wagie
brekum ya asante ti ne maka nja pekum ya asante se kwa ya asante and ukobisa se kwa hwena ye ka se you see ye ka sa kasa na enya wo abrante kwa na wo ti abonten wa wo ye dede no ye ka se obi ka se hwan na tumi a kasa no oman he no okru no o se me se kwa hwen se me ya asante jape krum se me ya asante enti wo abrante na wo se wo ya bunu a wo ya dede no wo ya hwan
ye ka de hyem so ampanifo ne moja na de ka
so clearly we are telling them they should be humble and accept this principle. There's nothing that can change because everything has been codified in the laws of this country. Shebi ni asante ni anamu asante tunu obe koso atu asanze tumi and all these two are no.
Let's say Asantehene nye bibi kwa.
Debi. Now the nice of course. Now I say na me. Of course. And these are Asante nation and this is a flag.
This is a flag.
Exactly.
Repo Pokopine. Yeah, shadi. Amas. Dormaahene ba be wura Sampa nsensem. Mo ba be piem wo menhia. Menhia mo be piem no. What was the result?
The results were very clear. Shebi ye kan asem no. Farouk Edifo. Ni mami babi. And I shebi abushua no mu da Kwame Mamulenge, right, that boy. Who's an orator, of course, he's very smart and look. Should be obiti in trouble, with all due respect. That is how he is. There are videos available to indicate so obiti mention him. He can't say we can't tell. It's what can't tell we are. You don't go back out there. Now if you say the in time no video no on what can't tell video. It is also ko jam one thinker and see share.
Sanity.
Ghana court be antimi man is san and go see share. This is the principle that we are telling them. What I say? Tibe ye be no. To let some of that fly dinkunim no amanye ni amamremu ogo so ache ni manfo Sampa ni manfo so ache no omsa ba Asantehene be so ache Asantehene ampa emomdi se bi tumi hye ni nsem so clearly
na ye de tumi hye Sampa man hene nsem o menhia esi de na Sampa dua sade chini esi ne so Sampa krodua no ye mema sem ni ade okru
esi ni nyina ye because we are na a democratic nation.
Okay.
And then we are in a 1992 constitution, and of course, you know, you cannot verbally, you cannot attack you be, you know, there might be a reason. And so when you go to the police station, now police need to be also your Sampa man, what's a document that indicates Sampa you've been gazetted. He can ask you. But of course, before I be as a document in the we also believe, sir, police for if they are very rational and they want to be truthful, they will know who be a Sampa man, respective. So they know very well that Samordua and Sampa man, but he's abusing the law and people are profiting from that activity. And he essentially to let Samordua fly. Shebi Oyenyensani our Onimnyansanti or Onimra. So at all time he wants to be very careful. He will not abuse the law and probably go after who is misbehaving. Clearly we know he's misbehaving because he's no authority. But he keep on doing that. Or yes, I know a show, a horrible, and then you act. But you are very intelligent and you are very smart. You will not act and will not go to misbehave. But we believe the law will deal with them.
So I'm running no more dia. Yemra we so. Ya ba menhia ba be dia Asantehene na no ato asebu ne mo ya kamu ntam ya kwakwa ko swan wo Sampa ya be swan wo menhia ya ba Sampa krodua bi sanke nyina ye nkone ye wan adano na me wo ho me hu di si ye nyina obi be bisa se na den Asantehene aka asem ne yesa de asem no akoma court.
Of course the ntia ye de asem ne court no that was within the right of to let Samordua fly. And to let Samordua fly, I'm sure you can't say no. Once I hear some, you can't hear some more court. And so clearly, let me take this opportunity to tell the people of this country and the Ghanaian people say, look, you are not in court. Say you can't Sampa hear some. You are in court. No. I hear some. I can't read. And now I know say to let Samordua fly. And is overlord and the supreme leader of Sampa Traditional Council, and nothing is going to change. The reason why we are in court today is the fact they said, look, you are sure in Krata, I command the Brun.
Regional House of
Chief. Say, look, to let Samordua fly has been ordained as the leader of the Sampa Traditional Council. I'm finding document in the National House of Chiefs
for gazetting
into the National Registry.
Okay.
Of course, a conduit. So the Brun Regional House of Chiefs is therefore a conduit under the 1992 Constitution. Say, a banisha now they are called the registrar no honum. Now the document, you know, now or the aba. Of course.
Sabe Pepe.
And the document in the currency, the document will come, it will not come. There's another issue. The question that you're asking me now.
na se na ye de nkrata se me fa ye na nasangbaja flan wo se ye de ko ebono regional house of chief na ye de koko pimo national na ye ko gazette no na se si ye ko aban mu se ye si aban so hu se sampa ye si ye nya hene e wo honom up to date adenti na sankrata ni nyina nyanko pi
and so clearly because Nana Dormaahene had demonstrated the president of the Borno regional house of chief and or misleading among for say he is the leader of the Borno people. You see there's a difference between a leader where Nana Dormaahene says a constitutional requirement,
sanity,
a battle even which is an illegality, as we said out there, and I'm about fair. And to be ateno, and yet to me be now, only to me or Sampa mine show, only to me or Sequa mine show,
sanity,
only to me or Fiapi mine show, sanity, only to me or a ADUMASA say, only to me or Shabi, the baby, I say, what I say. So clearly, you have no authority there. Sanity. And so you don't sit down there and present yourself that probably you are the authority of the Borno people, and for that matter, you overcome. Ain't all the documents because he want to misbehave. And then behave in a manner show or authority, you know, and then the registrar on any kaboom, and they were misbehaving that they will not forward the document. And so clearly, within the 21 days, that is why to let someone that fly also review say document me must try Asantehene, must try me man for I am a document I be dimu honum. Esemo de ko amon fan ko a because bibi amotene e aban djuma na moye me menu na etiomoka yeah na etiomoka the taxpayers money is used to pay you the registrar and for that matter if there's a document what you have to do is say you forward the document to the appropriate authority but because you have been influenced by Dormaahene and Asumahene and then they are the registrar misbehave and he failed to submit the document
no.
Of course we also have taken the necessary processes in terms of legally. Say we cite them the contempt. Say we dim remu. Sebi. Yedi document abro na fan ko
wabu emranda.
And so we see why the law will take all of us.
Sisi ya kopi mu court.
Yeah.
Ye de krata kwa komo mo sisi ya butaye nti a registrar emfa krata no enko ba bia mran hye ne so won fan ko. Ye hu se Dormaahene na influence no ni Sumahene na dada sabapai. Na ye hwa de before some beto aba ayi regional house of chief be a president meteye wona wonimu na de bia makokot ne de ba ye de injunction to Borno regional house of chief so ye to aba ne pen no eyesa
she wants a telebia enye bibia na se bi panyin die mantemanti and so clearly the manner and the way Dormaahene was misbehaving imagine that order was given in my regional maybe margin say if that order was given said Dormaahene should not be allowed to contest. Look at the chaos it will have created. We are not criticism be okrumanum as I said we obi can ashe obi person be can kasa bo ashe ne if you are not very careful and if you are not very rational to deal with the law now you didn't run be say ah e be obi official o person can say but clearly subsequently we have come to know say and that's sanity you understand he has departed from probably the adjunana yanyandi man no it is our elections in a constitution an illegality it's an illegality and at all times can be contested.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't mean crime is a crime. Bonnie. Be able to contest it. What I say. And then he want to use that office. No, a projecting who says we on the overlord of the Borno people. But you know, we are mind we as we are mind
sanity.
Only shout to me, and we are creating that friction. And now can't share my Borno and they are misbehaving. What I say. And that's what I'm saying. Say most of the young ones out there never knew. Say probably be on Mutenunano, Asantehene territory. They never knew.
Exactly.
Okay. And so clearly, this is a demonstration here for them to go back to their root, to understand say we are Asantehene. You know all those enclaves for you to know you are part of Asantehene. And Asantehene is a nation on its own. And so probably that may be the jealousy and that desire, but you cannot dismantle and you cannot break Asantehene because Asantehene at all times will reign supreme. You can't Ghana you can't Ghana history. You can never run away from Asantehene. And clearly there are available documents. But you can't the restoration of the Asante state. There are documents to indicate that the restoration of the Asante state Nienas ewa Asantehene bia na Asantehene dia. And so clear so when otumfo opemso nyansani preocupe e ka se bi tanoso any dia or techima you sit down there as a social media boy now but there's a document in the restoration the Tanoso traditional council belong to the Tanoso town belongs to the Kumasi traditional council and these are documents available until you can make now to me by now of course of course but there are documents there and the documents are available so we urge them say they'll find and read this document and that make the Ghana nation. And yeah, a movie document I say we paper. And you are okay people I say you are not being fair and you are not being sincere. And it's like others say Ebana Janani Pan and I say na junior or Daruma na say saying well have or I say
emetna abefonten tanso for one no 7 penny for so the one no don we ra bi nya den enwo enkrata wo se krobi ye Asantehene dia no enkrata wo di adanse say Asantehene otumfo say tutu di otukuru ye kra we ne brawe nwoma so ne dia enti ne amas ya grace Sampa mu nkomo ene guso ayedi amas yemra ha say yakopie court say court nsensem na kwakwa kosin efiri hin na court yin say akosi say
so clearly so the court court what the court did was the ruling was the fact say to let someone that fly find a document and call the National House of Chief for him to be gazetted and and clearly we have gone back again to the court share and part citing for contempt and I court no also akọ Brunei Regional House of Chief no but the Regional House of Chief and Sebi Farouk aka Nana Samordua exactly has also gone back to the court at the High Court. Omina has gone to file for stay or execution. The stay or execution in Nani say, almost say court and prevent it to let someone that fly documenting, preventing the Brunei Regional House of Chief, the registrar. Say a man in fact to let someone that fly documenting in court. A man in fact court. And before my file that they have filed an appeal.
Oh, okay.
Once I file an appeal. So the content of the issue is here. They have filed this stay of execution, of course.
Stay of execution.
Of course, it's in law. It's granted in law, and it's fair and it's right. But however, though a right, who any partner have been power file this document. Clearly, you see whether it's right or it's not wrong. But I'm not here to judge whether it's right or it's not wrong. But here they have filed that document, and they must have filed an appeal. So we are going to hear the stay of execution. The stay of execution now. Niomu bisaf, on person say court and prevent to let someone that fly. Seen a bear in the documents name. The national, the Brunei Regional House of Chief. They will go there and tell them, say, I didn't know. And it's what they call. They have to. That's all. Why do you have to explain? Because you have to explain the fact say, I cry with your back. And so the authority will therefore be to let ADUMASA, who is the acting tradition, who is the president.
Oh, you're continuing
no, who is the Kukwahene, who is the acting president of Sampa Traditional Council. On no authority, so by signing or be documented as I call the Brunei Regional House of Chief and the National House of Chief. So all this thing will be authenticated. It is a whole say a moment from question, but you say child document no man signing is it authentic or is not authentic? But of course, we know very well that they are not going to provide anything. Well, why I sit and what I know and what I believe. Because clearly that's what because I always say I'm a young fan qua, young fan qua. Ya can't him at the same I can't want him. And I see him for be documented. Now, document is also what by you want him. Oh, she said, the air can say, or Moon can say to let someone just flown and you're not some of my hino. The ever chairman for our system. Okay, the woman for my dream, brand for my dream. Say, or Moon can say to let someone just fly. What you are contesting in court and yet to let someone just fly legitimacy. So I say, oh, your mind him, Sampa Traditional Council. You also move for to let someone just fly documenting. What are you saying?
Okay.
What was your say? I saw Casse to let someone just fly on your henny. Until you have to go to that appropriate forum, show on your henny. But for now, no, you won't document be the court say they have they set aside the ruling of Asantehene, say near Asantehene can near money near Mamra to let someone just fly on your mind. There's no document. Only document document be anyone. It is to let someone just fly say Bona for original and find a document you can now say who interest woman. Interest be now no. What about Asantehene videos or on Yama ruling by the High Court as
Amazon. I have for your video with my brother Dormaahene. Brunei Regional House of Chief now all say you are Kwabo Kopie one Brunei Regional Minister Kopie Mona, what didn't send me to channel with a good minister soon say or no Sampa and 7 you wouldn't send our bar as he or him as 7 previous or him dada. Now what him and po a will croon no much here and mano yintim resima.
You're right. Sampa the other than himself, Nanano, basic wound nae, who shall call court for the massive for. Maybe a name say, Obiti, a Kunyana Sodadao, or him I be or not oye him, not him not swam in swam free bed. That I know of your bedroom. Somebody will then fear a biasa. No man for the body so. No more will be men kan ho ka se nkan ho a na je se madam fo na opre madam fo opre bibia o ba ka sa wo nkan ho dia na je se wani bre no ye mu bi e se ya ntiase sa de e de hawo e baaye ama ya atwea na se kura ahene e ma e wo so nya hema na obesi ne hene o ba ti baba wo kumase nanti ese se Dormaahene nkroshe mase wamfie kira abisim ne na ekeka ho enya minisi wa hene otom besi ba hene na ba ka kirem
Enfoni ekohwe ba yi ya bra na Dormaahene ete eye Bono Regional House of Chief na wo ka se Sampa de ohene wo dada a watena so firi emfie bi obodin se de ekohwe enfoni ne ba ye no na amase ebisa wo
wadar ma say sha enfoni na hwe in na ma ne ya because we have to be serious in this country and then we have a nation to build and then probably I think this country must move on.
Okay.
And the young ones are demanding that the political class will deal with our challenges. Meanwhile, while Asantehene esu eyenefa.
Okay.
What you say?
Okay.
Sha video a ye hwe. A friend say Dormaahene. What I say? They don't know person say.
O se sisi ya no Sampa de odo onimu ne se wo hema okro nu so dada no wo hema esihene dada e no masa akọfa obi.
So that is why I wanted to real could be the fact ni say or ye mranim ni. And she must know. Say so o hema o honoma what is the document? Document in way. In Katasem when say ampa sa oba hema na gazette no. Say ampa on Sampa man. You see ye din komo bia sometimes ye mre once na ye mbisa near someone ehia efa asemo enye story enye dede. What is the document? He's a judge of the high court. He's a lawyer. Mine, and he know very well so should be oba hema. He have to be gazetted before you can make that pronouncement.
Sanity.
And he should tell the people of this country, say, ampa, document Ben, say, Sama, men now can say, or your bahima no tikrumono, Sebi, or your bahima. There's no document to that proof.
Okay.
But and how many people will take the time to explain? But untiase, intiafi uti nafi utwa yampia, untiasem nasi. Near can say, on for document in measure, Sampa. Obahima we documenting. National House of Chief for the document. I'm paying a banner and I say, Sebi. Asantehene time inti ombezo mejimi atu na kawachiri na secretary they are two timamfoni but there's no document to that and so clearly you keep on so with the greater respect you keep on misleading the people what I say you keep on misleading the people because there's no document to that effect cha bahima na kana nya no onyo bahima and I mean san kan shi wadaroma shebi wadaroma odi Farouk omunya busia wadaroma aho brashim na kan ye ni yawo na kan esan say di kan because yan kan man timamfo no nche obi nka se obi sisi obi say no crab mu Sampa enye se bi na edi we will not keep on probably telling our story for people to have sense with us.
Ma bonkro from eda ensem yi hia ase ebesi nne ebusua dua ya bobobobo ya Farouk Samordua a obo no san ho mra ne Sampa manhene wone wo ba panyi ada wo de niema ne nkapa gugu wo nsa omunfire abusua ne mumudi ade ne bia enye ye wone ebo makutupa suma hene ne Dormaahene ene so makutupa ene omo ye
because you want to be the bon president and the father matter e bon for hene and anya kunya bia no e bon for hene because obia on asase so clearly enti se o ye o obrekuma na ye young man na asase na brekum for dia awadumase awadumase for this for dia Sampa for dia jabekum for dia so clearly sa na che enti obia no no ma otumi preoccupy say asase nyina me de enti me otumi obia so you are just a president after 4 years you to aba now you so enti enye say na as long as a bono for edisa no you are misleading the people with
misleading say see amas yen common yi be betwa so na ya to afoforo so dia court ahin fa na sesi a wodi egina e wo ye na Sam Ajafa ne nkratasemu
so clearly I come 7th
bosumi ya leader Tosin
okay so you call for the state execution the state execution is the Bono Regional House of Chief they are coming to tell the court as to why say omushe mumfa to let Sam Ajafa document in enko including Farouk so didn't they but remember say because they were abusing the law no or shebi omo pese omo esem rana horobanti bakun di kan fale or sunyane the same state of execution
okay
and about before you ever can asem na and about ko susan be fale or Asante
nes omumienu no omuhu di omu ya
no because they want to frustrate you
okay
because clearly so adwempo adwempa now official o team now official na mutu a utu no efe esefata na nka the time Abron region has bron the bron a fale Sampa the sales execution you could have joined and come in me can't boom your master is solid but we failure but you know you be share maximum for ntia share adwumpa o years are they are wasting the time what they say no ma fale enti e ba na court ni determine Sampa e man mo fanko fine but we believe the court will be on our side the court we are going to have grace on the part of the court and mercy will be granted to us because we believe ni say there's no way they can prove as to why the document should not be forwarded because clearly there's nothing.
Before sasa me say o kakra. Before sasa state of execution o mababa file ya pili ne de keka ho mababa ye nyina no. Court mo 21 days. Sha
21 days no. O ma form. They also fail. Wanje see wanje sha enne ka no. Wanje onimra na dimra emumra.
Sa na tie.
Court assure say for document we call who wan fanko who wan fanko no wasan you can again wasan dano ho asan ko court say court nka bi ma say court e ma court nka court nka document nda wani say fa court wo wasan ba court say court nka nya ma me fanko now o bisa won say
adanko dada do ni
bisa won say enti anamutu awutui no kremu we are presbyterian we are Muslim ni we are Catholic ni na we are sha na tu anamutu na enti se bi sum na wo sum no na wo je say na say unsem bonya mi apo because no enye no credit na dey adwuma enye me na me judge but ye bi sha because the reason why I'm saying is say because our document na court e show no wan fanko na afi wo wie ya o san be she court ni me she wo she ma won fanko ba me wa court adi kan show
court ni kan show
ne man shebi odaroma ne man ye time plan say o mu twentwen so 19 20 21 after 21 and I'm go file this document it clearly it was an attempt
na o mu twen dey
boapaye so boapaye there's nothing for them to that they wanted to pursue but they wanted to delay the process boapaye and so timamufo no emisemu now they should read between the lines should be serious now if a document or document no because within 21 days na nka ye fee court one within 4 5 7 days na nka file document or defense
what came at 21 days
what's am file na sa same court na e share no uso mpene usi sa court
on kabima
well yes
buapayo ye jai emma timamufo amas ya grace and amene na pensin sampa from day one abc court nsensem nyame ya doma dwada edi enemy 7 people dwada ye beko ni yakwa tena asem no so Kumasi High Court right
ni yakwa tena respect to the state execution
na yakwa hwe se court ebeje ba omode omoniema na ba no atum anase court ekohye omo se nkrata no omomfa enko Kamas how is Sampa say see what say upon a ye curfew with that man so na keka ho nyina isi Sampa
okay be asubje onum and ye be shema timam for no chia say ne keka ye kenya no asem ne kama na shi to let some of the financial for my hin esan say nsem nya shi ye akọ shebi continue fie na confusion at the committee ka asem no etumo to let some of the fla and adi nkunim and e ka bushia ye kan say wa otikrumo nyina wa otikrumo we ya share onya dise nti bisha moja and e pese timam for no tia hye ombisha na ma say ombisha ne say ne maame hwan no di na ade
Adam watara we come wo maame hwan ne di
na ade what dey say and once omu bisa sa questions na afi ena mwadweme ba so say mojasem na eka enti sa insem amanfo eka no ene nokre enti omu gitum sa na that is the only way that they can accept the truth tije na me making me papa sebi what I say efi sorry it is the first time me papa fi sorry and then say me mfani nsi bi ofi se me papa wa kunya bia odi a sa ho no sa akru nso na odi
sanity
me so me Sampa this year enti se me wa kunya me dia Sampa na me dia sha kunya enti ye nti ase se ye ka akunya and e ka adisinsem a e ka moja sem jaman fo nyintum na nyintum je sin na no kra nti ehwe ni wa be sisa so official nya no kra na official bi sisi wa anamutu a se utuma ne ye fani se odi wa asem e be dane mra but enye ho atoto asem e ma se bi obi ton na cheke obi ton obi ton ni mo ana obi ton ni niema na se bi wakoto asem so na okagu
so ka niema ton a yeke kagu ma memra so ma me ne ho aka wo Sampa okunyaseni ne nsane ne
bebre and that is why we are saying that there must be that respect to everybody within the community and that is what the police have to ensure say should we misbehave me Tom man dey na be ka gu a crime boni na wabedi
na omo ka gu say akonya na omo ni bi
na say oni bia ni so o ka ko bi ne obi ton na ade wakopɛ ni dwetire akɔgye ni loan or ton na ade na ko ka gu e that actual loan and that is why we expect the police all right. And recently, you know, they're coming into being of the current Inspector General of Police. IGP Yohunu.
Oka police ase mamemra we see yon komo no ye twa so nso afi na sense komo no eye de pa. Police ase me abere to trust sem koso mu ba mehia bi so an ye court ni sense mu duru Sampa bia na ye ni de kafi ni ade to mo so. Police fo wo kuro mu mama ne ana.
We see enema ne ye tan enema ne hyebi eto de bia ka ema ne ye ya no. Yeah, per se did not cry did not cry.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, the police people must know.
Okay.
Actually, you have to know because clearly you can't manage someone. If you're a police officer and you are the regional police command or the regional police command, you have to be brief. You can't hit someone. You have to know. A police officer in your duty, in your duty of life. So
also
na kunya na ka no I am pass Sampa ya Asantehene. You can't say from there. You say police officer no. Now Sampa no kwedi aye adwuma and then you take that to shana mutu. But of course, now police officer say be obi aye nyamranse obekire na wanchi na what can you do? When you're very careful. Now you can say be udi abufu e ko to asho bi so a na fi akodan bo achi bidi na fi in tokwa the daniel you have no option than to report to the police and of course time and again omo koso edi ehembo but we still believe that the police have to act because near odin sebi nyamran and they have to arrest him because assembly and some fatana officer obonju so there are processes in this country the family require so what I say so officer of him so asina kunya na nti asia for the court the fata but in transit sebi en tu anamu tu bi fata adaroma what does it?
Sanity. Amasi agrees ena yene no edi ehyiamu a Nyankopɔ ye adoma Juada 7th ana day ya ewom ya bosumi ya Juada di enemi ya ye court ne akwa stay of execution na ye di aba no ye kohwese court ogi atuma na se wonyi ntum kame ho ADUMASA TV
enti ema amanfo ntia ase ema propaganda fo bi nya adwuma se yewura samojafla ena de sebi document bi akoko
Samordua and Dormaahene Bruno original of chief Dormaahene president and the akko enti yesremo and yet Sampa mahene na Sampa jafra and yes Asantehene and the akko omo a na aso omo
na we ade na this education ko na gaje do document ko record say the court ni ya gaje team me na me ohene
enti nyame adoma Juada e woni yakwa ko se ampa dondo be funu tegare e wo kumase abonten so nti ya du ho no mo anu asa agebre me ne amas ba betena ya ne apensim mu se de esi ko ye se de esi ba ye nyina me din ene aduana de hye bedi akon yakra mo